The platypus, Ornithorhynchus anatinus, is a very well-known animal which lives in eastern Australia. Platypuses are monotremes, which is an order that only contains two families, the aforementioned platypus, but also the echidnas, which I will talk about in the next episode. They look very unique due to their duck-like bill, their beaver-looking tail, and their very flat bodies. All of these features are, however, very important to their semi-aquatic lifestyle. They live in streams where they mostly feed on invertebrates, but also occasionally on other small animals such as fish or frogs. They have poor vision and cannot use their sense of smell underwater. Instead, they rely on electroreceptors in their toothless bills, which help them sense nearby animals. Even though many people see Australia as a very warm place year-round, that's not always the case. The waters that some platypuses inhabit can reach 4 degrees Celsius, but the platypi have a dense underfur which is kept dry by a waterproof outer layer of hair. They have webbed feet which they use to swim, while their tail is used as a rudder to steer the animals as they search for food. One of the most surprising facts of platypuses is that males are venomous. On each ankle they have a spur which can inject venom, and even though it can't kill a person, it is very painful and can be deadly to some smaller animals. The males use these spurs to fight each other during their mating season. The only weird features aren't just on the outside though. For one, they have a very low body temperature of only 32 degrees Celsius. They also don't have any nipples. The mother's milk instead comes out of the skin, very similar to sweat, and then runs down specialized hair which their young can suckle from. There is also another even weirder thing about them, which I will get to soon. Platypuses are most active at dawn and dusk and spend almost all of their time either hunting or hiding in burrows which they dig with their powerful front legs. Platypuses grow slowly and it takes them 4 years before they are old enough to breed. They mate during late winter and spring, and in one recorded instance a male was seen chasing a female by holding onto her tail with his bill while she tried to swim away. The females will usually lay 2 eggs, and yes, even though platypus are mammals, they lay eggs in a special nursery chamber in her burrow. To keep the eggs warm, the mother lays next to them and wraps her body around them while holding her tail in her bill, and I can only imagine how insanely cute that has to look. After about a week, the eggs hatch with the young platypuses, also known as puggles, using an egg tooth to escape their eggs. The mothers take care for their puggles for up to 4 months, and they take quite a long time to fully grow up. It takes a year before they stop growing, and they can live to 20. Platypuses are classed as near threatened by the IUCN, but their population is decreasing, and that decrease will continue unless more action is taken to save them. Their main threat is habitat loss, with things like invasive species, climate change causing fires and droughts and also making native species less competitive, dams being built and deforestation, all destroying much of the platypus's habitats, and all of those are caused by human activity. The monotremes are very distantly related to us. Their lineage split from ours 166 million years ago, during the Bathonian stage of the Jurassic. This was during the same time as Megalosaurus and Torvosaurus and a lot of other dinosaurs lived. It was also just a few million years before the first birds evolved. There is a misconception that platypuses and echidnas are more like reptiles than us or are more closely related to reptiles than we are, but that is wrong. Their lineage has spent just as long evolving away from reptiles as we have since we split at the same time. They are also not more primitive or inferior to other mammals. The platypus and echidna lineages split somewhere between 19 and 48 million years ago, which means that they are a little more closely related to each other than we are to, for example, lemurs. The earliest monotremes are thought to have evolved in Australia and then spread throughout Gondwana, which was a supercontinent consisting of Australia, Africa, India, Antarctica, and South America. The oldest monotreme fossil that we have discovered is Tynolophus, which lived 123 million years ago. We have only found 4 jawbones belonging to the genus, and from those discoveries we know that they were about 10 centimeters long and likely had quite a strong bite force. Cryorictis was discovered in Australia and is about 106 million years old. It is not certain whether or not it is a monotrim, because the bone that has been found is very weird. Weird in what ways, you ask? Well, I don't know, because I don't understand, and to show you what I mean, I want to read a little from the Wikipedia page for Cryorictis. K. Cadburyi is distinguished by the authors from all extant monotremes, as well as from fossil tachyglossids, by the presence of a broad, marginated, shallow bicipital sulcus on the proximal humerus, which extends distally onto the waist of the bone. It is also distinguished by the presence of a trochleariform ulnar articulation and a distal olecranon fossa, and I have no idea what that means, so please help me. Anyway, the most famous extinct monotreme is definitely Steropodon, which lived around 100 million years ago and was quite large for a mammal at the time, at half a meter in length. The only fossil of Steropodon is very beautiful since it is partially opalized. Just before the end of the Cretaceous, Patagorhynchus lived in Argentina. It is the oldest monotreme we have discovered in South America. The oldest platypus that we know of is Monotrematum sudamericanum, which, as you might guess from its name, lived in South America. Monotrematum lived 61 million years ago and is only known from teeth. Obdurodon was a genus which lived between 28 and 5 million years ago. There are 3 species that we know of, and they were all slightly different from modern-day platypuses, mainly in their beak, which was more spoon-shaped than their modern relatives, and they also had teeth. The Ornithorynchidae family first appeared 9 million years ago, and the oldest fossil of the modern platypus species we have discovered is 100,000 years old. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me grow my channel.